Okay, welcome to our tactical meeting on the 3-5-2. So 3-5-2, you can see we're set up in a 3-5-2 right now. We're blue. You guys see that? And there's our 3. Here is our 5, right across here, and the 6. And then we have 2 9s. So we replaced our number 5, which is our libero, with an extra striker. That's why this makes this a very offensive interpretation of the 3-5-2. We're going to be able to press very easily high up the pitch. So the differences between the previous system of like a +1, -1, where we had like -1 at the top, +1 libero at the back, we still try to maintain +1 at the back. We just do it in different ways with this. But what we do is we give up our, we go +0 at the top. So normally the 9 would be responsible for both center backs, but in this case we have 2 9s. So let's go through quickly to direct opponents. What I did is you still have direct opponents in this. So the primary opponent of the 9 is the center back, but each one has their own center back. So you don't have to worry as much about the other center back. So it makes it much easier to be a 9 in this system. Also, the 8 is still responsible for the 8. But again, it makes it much easier because you don't have a situation where maybe this 5 is running at you and you have to cover 2 guys. That's still going to come up, but not as much. Our 10 takes their 6. These are all direct opponents, classic battles between positions in football. Our 6 takes their 10. Our fullback takes their 7. Our right back takes their 11. Our center back takes their 9, but notice there's no libero. And our 11 takes their 2, so our wing, but it's a wing back, you'll see in a second. And our 7, our other wing back, takes their 3. But so we don't get overrun in the back, you're going to see how we create superiority in the back without having a permanent libero. I'm going to show you that. And that's going to be with the help of everyone. Okay, so let's look at when the ball is with the goalie. Everybody should take a neutral position. But you want to set up, in this system, it's very easy to bracket. The term we're going to use is bracket. Let me actually write that down for you. We're going to bracket their players. And that means, one of our players on one side, one on the other. And they're going to have different purposes. So, for example, you can see that our 9s and our 10 and 8 are bracketing their CDMs. You guys see that? Right? Even though our 9's direct opponent is the 5 and this 9's the 4, we can start off by really smothering their CDMs in this system. We also will see another bracketing. We will see that our 11 and our 3, our wing back and our left back, can bracket the 7, and on the other side of the pitch, we have the same thing. They can do this by not worrying about the fullbacks yet. We're not worried about the opposition fullbacks yet, just like we're not worried about the center backs yet. So you can see that any ball into the middle is double covered. Any long ball to the wings is double covered. If they try to get it to the 10, we should be able to converge with our 10 and 8 and our 6 to smother that out. So you can see off their goal kicks, we're very protected. So we just have to now handle, how do we respond when they play to one of their 4 in the back 4? So let's start with a simple one. They play to their right. We would, as this ball is traveling, we would start to position ourselves in a cover shadow. The 9 would cover shadow. Okay, and the 10 would cover his back, right? Cover behind that guy. Our 11 knows that the ball is about to get to the 4, which would mean that the 4 would then be able to play to their 7. So we need to think ahead, just like in chess. And we bracket. Previous, we were bracketed in this direction. Now we change the angle. But we hold there. We don't need to come forward yet. The 9 is going to apply the pressure. This allows our 3 to not have to be up. We've dealt with this concept before, because if he's up high like this, he's susceptible to a ball over the top and a foot race. So if we have our 11 cover shadowing his man, then the 3 can play off. So now they can't get it to his feet. And if they try to play in the air, our 3 has a massive head start. He could be as slow as me, still get there. Okay? Now, the 9 will press. Our 9 can now cut this off, or just kind of sit here and cut this off. Our other 9 would sit here and cut this off. So now it's a dangerous ball here, and it's a dangerous ball here. So he's eventually going to get pressed. The difference is we used to press, we told you guys to press this way. Now we're pressing forward, which is a lot easier, less running. We keep the ball in front of us. So more than likely the ball goes here. This is where we really trap them. So as this ball is traveling, the 11 would not go directly at him, because if he does, he's leaving open this channel. So what he does is, as the ball's traveling, he enacts a cover shadow before the ball even gets there, from the man to their other man. The 3 still watches over top. Meanwhile, the 4 slides over. The 2 slides over. This is like, we talk about this pendulum shape. This whole pendulum swings. So if the ball was on this side, the 7 would be doing that action instead of the 11, but he's not. So he becomes functionally a right back. So look at the security we have in the back now in a zonal system with our little wing back dropping in, right? It's very nice. And we're still applying great pressure to the ball. And our middle zone, our 6, 8, 10, and 2 9s, they haven't had to move much. So this guy will now start pressing, taking away the ground ball. So now what we want to see is, if you don't want them to escape, you can cover shadow your man. In this system, for me, the way I want us to play it is, once the ball goes to the sideline, I don't want to let it back into the middle. And for me, the most effective way to do that is not even allow it to go to their feet. So I would like to see cover shadows on all your men. So instead of being behind your guy, right? See this? I would like to see you guys be more aggressive. It's not that much running, and go in front and cover shadow while looking behind you. This is going to really reduce their options. And then everybody on the other side of that, our 8 and 9, they should be looking for the ball that either gets through on the ground or goes over the top. So this is very important to understand. Too many players, when this ball gets here, they kind of just like drift. And then there's an easy, watch this easy ball. Boom, boom. Because our 3 was playing off, our 10 really needs to protect that bounce pass. This is a very important concept to understand. If you guys can get this down, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to move the ball, and you will do minimal amounts of running. Very little running in this, except for the wingbacks. You're going to run. So you have to anticipate this as the ball is traveling, right? And get in front of these guys. but you have to look behind you. I cannot stress that enough. Because if you're not looking behind you while you go in front, you have to look behind. You have to scan on defense. Yes, you have to scan on offense, but you also great players scan on defense too. Because if this guy moves out of your cover shadow and you don't see him, right? So you have to constantly look behind you. Now, who can help out with that? The 8, right? The 6, okay? The 6. So everything still requires communication. There's no getting around that. So those of you who just joined, if you can get on this tactical board, you can move these pieces, and we'll do it on the other side and see how you do. So this guy is essentially trapped. We have the sideline as a defender, which is always a good thing. Can't go that way. He can't go here. He can't go back to the 4. He can't go to the 6. He can't go to his 10. He can try to go long, but we are in really good shape for that. So if anybody can hear me and can talk, does this look like something that is difficult to do? Or do you think that at some point we could master this little basic step here? Nobody's unmuting themselves. So I'll answer for you. Yes, you can do this. We've already had players get used to the outside 5, the 11, the 3, the 4, the 2, the 7. We call them the pendulum guys. We've already gotten really good at that with previous teams. I know you guys are going to learn that quickly. The learning curve comes from the midfield cover shadow. We really need that to really make this thing complete lockdown. If you can get down the middle, the midfield, right, the 6, the 8, the 10, and the 9s, if you can get down that cover shadowing balls going back into the middle, you're going to lock this stuff down. And then the 8 and the 9 on this side would, of course, watch any air balls. So let's do this. If you can move a piece, give me a little shake there where you can shake one of the pieces. Show me you can move it. And I want you guys to try it on the left side. Okay? So I want you to move the pieces on the left side. So let's start off in the neutral position. Actually, first, can you guys move the pieces or no? Can anyone move the pieces? You're not letting you move the piece, Chris? You're trying it on the tactical board? All right, so I'm going to move them for you. I know David was able to move them earlier. All right, so I'm going to reset the pieces. Oh, who's moving them? There you go. So we're going to reset the pieces, me and whoever's here, right? So when it's neutral, think of, we want to bracket. That's the key word I want you to think of. Always bracketing, right? So let's bracket all the players, right? Let's move all these guys back from red, and let's bracket all their players, right? So the goalie has the ball on a 6 kick. Let's get everybody bracketed, right? So our 10 and our 9 can bracket their 6. Everybody say it? Our 6 here. Our 8 and our 9 on this side can bracket their 8. So we're going to deny any balls into the middle. Our 11 and our 3, bracket the 7. Our 2 and our 7, bracket the 3. Even though bonus points here. Yep. We're the blue team. So, who is the direct opponent of the 11? Nothing. We're still keeping those numbers the same. Who's the natural direct opponent of an 11? Anybody know? Of the left wing. You can also give me the name of the position. The 2, right. Thank you, David. And so, but if you notice, and I want, right, and the natural direct opponent of the 9 is the 4 and the 5, right? But I want you to notice something, that are they not helping out someone else? They are, right? So that makes us very effective in defending everything beyond their back 4. Everything beyond their back 4 is on extreme lockdown. If they send a long ball here, should we win it most of the time? We should, right? We should. So that's another advantage of this system. Every system has their advantages and disadvantages. So that's another advantage of this system. We're going to win all the long balls, or most of them. No one's ever going to win all of them. The 6 does need to keep in mind to help out with the 9 there, just like the 2 and the 3 do. This is where we kind of buy our extra libero, right? Any of these players can help out the 4, correct? The 3, because he's only in air duty. He's only in air coverage, right? The 3 is only in air coverage. I mean, really, the 6 is only in air coverage, right? Because there's no way he's getting this to the 10, right? Unless the 10 checks in which case he's got to follow him. If the 10 checks in, we are going to follow, all right? The 2 is in air coverage, right? It can't get the ball to the 11's feet, which means since they're in air coverage, meaning air balls, right? They can easily help out our 4, right? And the reason they can help out our 4, this is important to understand, is because the 11 and the 7 are helping them. Because the 11 and the 7 on our team are helping our 3 and 2. Very important to understand. This is why soccer is the ultimate team sport. And you understand it. Okay. So we're going to now move the ball here. I don't know who can move a piece. Umar, can you move pieces? Nope, he's out of it. Okay. He's not in the chat. That's okay. All right. So this is going to initiate movement, right? We were, this guy really barely has to move, but the 2 needs to be ready for that air ball, right? Okay, and as the ball gets moved to the 5, can our 11 start to tuck in a little in anticipation that he has to become a left back? Yes. Right? Yes. Just a little bit, just be ready, but not much. Right? More so, we want the 3 to tuck in and the 4 to tuck in anticipation. And the 11 is ready. The 11 is going to go during this transmission. Then he's going to fully commit to that back line and push everyone over. Okay? But he can stay a little bit up. That's why we call it a 3-5-2. Until it gets to the fullback, and then he's a complete left back. Very important to understand. This is done in stages. And our cue is, does the goalie have it? Does the center back have it? Does the fullback have it? Very simple cues. So when the center back has it, we can just hold a little bit, right, and just be ready for that long ping, okay? But we don't want to be like right here. We want to be like right around here, just in case he tries to ping to the 7, okay? 3 has to tuck in. Now, we know that we're going to press this, right? And we're going to cover shadow the 6. Or like just have a shadow in the middle here to discourage this ball and this ball. Okay. We have our 7 on a cover shadow. Can't go there. We have our 2 ready for the over the top. And because the 2 has overshifted, this is why we needed to shift, because we wouldn't want this, right? Because then the ball could be sent into the channel and the 9 has an easy run. What we want is a shift, and then the moment this ball is played, then we drop in and we shift even more. Because now we want to really make sure they don't get out. This is the trap. We put the cheese out, and now we're gonna snap it shut. Okay? At that moment, okay, as that ball is being sent, I'm going to leave it in the middle to show you what needs to happen. We want to take away the back pass. So we want to continue our movement that was going up, take away the back pass. Immediately cover shadow in anticipation of where the ball is going. Don't cover shadow here where the ball is. Cover shadow where it's going to be. There's an old saying about Wayne Gretzky. He talks about, he's, you know, probably the best hockey player to ever play, but, you know, it's very similar to soccer hockey. And he said he didn't go where the puck is. He went to where he thought he anticipated the puck going. So he was always a step ahead of all the other players that kind of just chased the puck. He looked at the circuit and said, it's going to go here next. And he drifted over there. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to get ourselves set and pre-block this pass. Nobody can pass it while it's moving in empty space. And the 7 is going to take this line and then start to progress up right away. So you can look at all the cover shadows we have. Our 9 is cover shadowing. Our 8 is cover shadowing. And you can continue and converge, right? And everybody else can start to converge if they want, right? Our 6 can cover shadow in front. Our 7 is coming, all right? So by the time the ball gets here, this is what this guy is facing. This is what he's facing. Okay, and our 10 needs to read the play, just in case maybe the ball got slipped in, right? And if he somehow chips it over, we need to adjust. Okay? All right? So, and if they start doing that consistently, then the 10 would hold back. Right? If this guy starts chipping it back into the middle because we're overplaying this, yeah, well, then the 10 should hold. Right? And just try to guide the 8. This is where you have to make adjustments. Try to guide the 8 to just cover shadow. So that he can't go here and he can't go over. Okay? So that is the defensive basics of the 3-5-2. Okay? Is there any questions about that? Okay. So now let's go over building out offensively. Okay, you're gonna see it's very, very easy. So let's say we're building out from our back. Okay. Because we have a 3 in the back shape, let's get ourselves set up here. So now we're going to talk offense, guys. We're going to talk build out. So we're going to build out. We got our 2 9s. Really nice to have 2 9s to really put pressure on those center backs. Okay, so you can see it looks like our defensive shape, right? Okay. And the nice thing about this is it makes these natural triangles, right? You have a triangle here, right? You have a triangle here. You have a diamond here, right? You have a diamond. You have a triangle shape here, right? You have a triangle here, here, everywhere. Look at all of these. This is another diamond, bottom of the diamond, top of the diamond. See it? Okay, same thing you get on this side, or you can make a bottom of the diamond. Okay, side, top. Very nice shape for diagonal passing, which we all know is the most effective way to break down the opposition defense. So, I'm going to introduce a concept called strong side or weak side. So, if the ball's in the middle, the way we will determine the strong side or weak side is what side we have more players on. Normally we say strong side, we'll say ball side, weak side. If the ball is on one side, we're going to by definition have more players on the ball side. But when we're building out, we can set a strong side with this formation with our forward, with our center back. So let's set their defense up in their 4-2-3-1. Okay, which is what we typically face. We got to move all their players up, right? Okay. So the best way to get around this is to use our nice pendulum or our bowl. right? That's the 11, 3, 4, right? 1, 2, and 7. If you add all those guys together, that's 6 players we have on the outside. Yet we still have 5 in the middle. But with these players on the outside, we can really go quickly around them, okay? Because of these wing backs. These wing backs that we have are going to allow us to create a very easy 2v1 against their winger. Okay, so, and the best place to do this at is our strong side. Our strong side, if our 4 sits on this side, okay, then that, let's say we line up here, then this is our strong side. And this is, okay, you can play it right to the 4 because we have our field player on that side. Our goalie is going to eventually go right back in goal, right? So he can play to here, and now you see we have this massive overload. I mean, the only opponent in this area is their 7, right? The 9 is going to come, but they're still outgunned, right? So the 9 will press, all right? And then what do you think they'll do? As we played it at 3, they're not going to cover shadow from this direction. So what are they going to do? They're going to come from here. And what are we going to do? We're going to slip it out to our wingback. Slip it out to our wingback. His direct opponent is the 2. How long before their 2 figures out that they need to step up? It's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little bit before he figures that out. And when he does, we have an answer for that. Okay? But until he does, we should be playing to our strong side. If they start to catch on this side, okay, our 1 should set up here. Realize that they're starting to catch on a little. And we just flip it. We just flip it. Okay? And now we play over. Okay, the 9 is going to start pressing our center back, right? Okay? And then as the ball is being transmitted, he's going to get pressed. And then what does our wingback do? Wingback slides down. Even if it's this low, he slides down and we slip it to him. Make sure, he's in a position to break the line. You don't want to be here, and then you're going to get closed down again, right? So you want to be in a position, right, as he's coming, that you can slip it to him. You have enough space right here to break that line. And then we're off. And at that point, there's a lot of different things we can do. All right, if it's a high line, we know what we want to do once he has the ball, right? You play to his feet here, and then what happens? He gets collapsed on by how many guys? At least 2, right? But if you dump it for him into this space, if they keep the high line, okay, now we can run onto it, and our other 9 can make a run, right? We can send across. All right, so that's the basics of building out. We can go over now that's the basics of building out to the sides, all right? And if we want to look at how to get the ball into the middle, all right, which they're not really going to take away the sides, okay? But let's look at that. So if they start to really overplay the outside, right? If they start to really overplay it, this is where you adjust, right? So they're sitting here going, okay, we're not going to allow this anymore, right? We're going to sit back, and we're going to keep both these guys in front of us, right? We still have an overload in the middle. We still have an overload in the middle. We have 5v5 in the middle. That's a problem for the other team, because usually the other team wants to be +1. Look, we're even numbers there. So you play, right? And because this 11 has given up our 8, right? We should be able to play right in, depending on which side their 10 is flipping, right? We play into our 8, he should be open. And then this is important, and we'll practice this. you should be making runs. Okay? The 7 should overlap past the 11. Absolutely should. He's a winger. Okay? So let's also look at some other offensive things that we want our wingbacks to get high. So when we do, let's say we're defending deep, and, well, let me show you what we have in the middle first before we do that, because this is a little bit easier concept to get. Let's go back to the beginning and show real quick one last thing, and then we should let you go. Keep the tape pretty short. So I want you to understand the middle and how much of a numerical advantage we have because of this 3-5-2. We are completely man up in this middle. There is no excuse when we play this system to get dominated in the middle of the pitch. It would mean we got to replace the players. It's that simple. If you're one of our middle players, I mean, we're giving you even numbers. You're usually -1 in most systems. We need to make sure that we dominate the middle with these even numbers. Usually we only give you 1-9 in there, right? So you could have a situation and we give you that extra libero, right? So we have situations where this guy can drive forward into our midfield and our 10 has to cover 2 guys. We're not doing that. So it is imperative that these guys are not killing us. These red guys in the middle, all right? No matter what formation they play. 4-3-3. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We need to be able to handle it. Okay, 4-3-3. We need to be able to handle it. We're even numbers. All right. If it is a 4-3-3, we can cover shadow from here. Okay. If you want to stay in front a little, you can. All right. But it doesn't really change. Our 10 is here, and our 9s can cover shadow and sit tight. And then when the ball comes over, this 9 comes out. This 9 takes a neutral position. Right? Trying to stop the ball from maybe getting to the 8 checked. And if the 8 checks in, you got to follow him. This is why I want to show this. You got to follow this guy. Right? If the 10 checks out to here and our 6 just sits here, we got to get a new 6. You got to get a new 6. Right? Because can't allow that. He needs to be on this guy and deny any turn. Got to deny any turn. Because if he does allow a turn, right, he's going to play right past us. So we really need good midfielders that are aware and can really dominate with those even numbers and really cause havoc in the middle. This is a fun formation to play when it's cooking because of that. You can really lean on a team if it's done correctly because of the firepower that it gives us. It basically gives us an extra man. We're taking away our libero, right, by basically leaving the weak side open. That's how we get rid of the libero, right? When the ball's on this side, we just completely get rid of our winger, right? Just so you know functionally how we gain this extra man. Normally, you'd keep a guy here when the ball was there, right? We're getting rid of that guy, putting him in the back line, and that's why we don't need a libero. Okay, so we're leaving this long ping open, but most amateur players can't make that pass. If they start making it, it's our 9 and our 8 that need to watch out for it. But barring them not making it, we need to now dominate, right? We know what we want it to look like. Get in front and cover shadow. Get in front, press through a cover shadow. All right, when everybody's sliding over. So now we can't get beat over the top, can't get beat through the middle, and there you go. All right, Any questions? And I could stop the tape. Is there any questions about this? Everybody good? Can't hear anybody if you're trying to talk. All right. Everybody good? Okay. I can stick around after. I'm going to stop the recording though, so that let me stop the recording so I can upload that.